Welcome back to another episode of the Manor House Podcast. I am Tino and I'm joined by
Natalie.
And today we have some special guests with us. We are joined all the way from South Africa by Vocal Harmony. Vocal Harmony, welcome. Could you introduce yourselves?
Thank you. Okay, I'll start with me. My name is Mbali. Mbali Faku. I sing alto tenor for Vocal Harmony.
My name is Nalo Itemba Janase. I sing tenor for Vocal Harmony.
Hi, my name is Mobile Dinge and I sing alto for Vocal Harmony.
Hello, I'm Lerato Zim and I sing alto, soprano alto.
Lovely to
And
meet
we
you.
have our ghost man.
Oh, Ghost Man sings baritone. My name is Lesego Ghost.
I like the girls. Thank you guys so much for joining us. From when we started the podcast, this has been on the list.
Yeah,
I
you guys
wanna-
were at the top at that.
Yeah. It's like, we need to message Vocal Harmony. Yeah, your music definitely has been on repeat in our house.
I will say, you made my husband quite stressed because there was a lot of songs on YouTube that were nowhere else but YouTube. And for a very long time, he was like, please just release the songs. And
Yeah.
I think there's still one song.
Yeah,
There's one song that's not been released yet. And he's like, please.
Which one?
Yeah.
is
Christ
That's it.
Return. That's it. Yeah. 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 And do you know what the thing is? Because when you were doing the like you were releasing videos quite frequently, I've now and like a lot of the videos are also on the album. So I listen to them all on YouTube with Christ Return. So then when I play the album now, I'm like,
You're looking
something doesn't feel right, you know? So yeah, please, if there's one request, it's next album, please. That one.
Listen, it's noted.
Just for me. All right. So one of the things I'm very curious about is what was everyone's musical journey before you met together as Vocal Harmony? What were your individual journeys as musicians and as singers?
Okay, I will start as the newest member that's here. Right? As a child that grew up in a family of musicians, I think most people who are adults grow up in families that facilitate them learning how to sing. Daily devotions, of course, and the experience that you have with music is through the hymnal, the SDA hymnal, and a family that is very passionate about singing as well. And growing up singing in groups, of course, and I found my way to Johannesburg and Blue Hills College, where I think 3 of the members of the group went to school there. I encountered Vocal Harmony for the first time at Blue Hills College. Yeah, and I was at grade 8, and I was just going crazy about this group that came through. And yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true to end up sharing the stage with him. And just singing his music. Yes.
Oh, that's so cute.
And, had touched me for such a long time before I got to minister to others as well. Because I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of a ministry like that and how it's changed my heart and to have the privilege now to impact others in that way. Yeah, now I've been in the group for I think 3 years, 4. Time flies. Time really does fly. I'm just happy about continuing to minister, continuing to speak to people whose hearts get touched by the message in everything that we do. Because I think too often now with groups and how many people get fixated on the music itself, like the harmonies and how it's going. We're even called Vocal Harmony, right? So people are inclined to focus on that. But one of the most powerful things I think about Vocal Harmony songs that speak to us and we hope speak to others as well, the actual message in the songs and what it is that song is trying to say about God, about our own experiences, and about what might be happening in your life as well, and however you interpret the messages. So yeah, that's a brief history of my music journey and then my music journey within vocal harmony as well.
Amazing.
I think
You know,
mine is quite similar. Oh, sorry. Do you want to come in?
no, I was just gonna really say, I need to know what was the prayer you said? What was the exact words of the prayer you said to God?
You want to copy paste?
Yeah, because you're living my dream.
It's just the way that God willed it, and I now got to steer me in that direction.
Amen.
Lord, I see what you're doing for others. And Nwabile, you?
My journey is quite similar to Snalo's in that I come from a musical family myself. I've sung all my life. I don't remember a time when I wasn't singing. I think though, for me, the difference with vocal harmony and any other space that I've sung in before, and what's special for me is that a majority of the songs that we sing are written either within vocal harmony or by people we know. So it's very different to singing a song that you grew up listening to from abroad versus a song not only written maybe in your mother tongue or a language that you resonate with, but a story that you resonate with. And I think that's the difference, the fundamental difference in singing with vocal harmony compared to any other place I've sang in before. And it also brings us together as the group.
I think for me, I mean, it really feels like they stole all my answers because the background is the same, as a born and bred in the SDA church, like the background literally is the same where um everyone in your family literally sings, so I come from that type of background. And growing up, I've been in and out of groups, singing with my friends here and there, but I think for me, the only group that kind of solidified in my music journey has been vocal harmony. And I mean, I was an original alto for vocal harmony. So it's been in my life for how many years now?
Forever.
Like it actually feels like forever that I've been singing. It's almost like I don't know what life looks like outside of vocal harmony. That's how long it's been. So I think, I mean, the VH journey has been what they've just said. It's personal. It's not just singing stuff that we've been going on the hymnal and things like that. It's personal because it's our stories. So I think that's one thing that has actually also carried us through very difficult times as a group. It's the strength that we get from each other.
Yeah, mine is also the exact same history. So I started off by singing with my sisters. So we had like a trio. Yeah. And the name of the trio was MTN. Side note,
Okay.
MTN is a network service provider, right?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
MTN, which stands for Mbali, Tato, Nomonde. So I'm Mbali, and then there's my younger sister, Tato, and my older sister, Nomonde. So Nomonde would come with arrangements and teach us songs, and then would sing at church, funerals, weddings. So yeah, my mom taught us how to harmonize. But yeah, I started singing at a very young age. And then I also went to a SGA school where music was prominent. Like music is what kept us going. So we were in small groups, big groups, duets. Like we were just always singing, and that's how most of us met. So yeah, I think for me, what I love about vocal harmony music is it's so emotional. It really touches the emotion because like they've been saying, it's more of a personal experience. Whether you've lived it or the person you sing with lived it, you kind of you see them grow as a person, you see them grow as a musician, and we see each other grow as a group. musically, individually. So the music just turns into an experience, an emotional experience. So it's not like just holding a note, you're telling a story. So I think that's what really keeps me in the group. That type
Oh,
of
we love
music you
that.
don't get anywhere. That type of connection you don't get anywhere. So yeah.
Oh, I really like that. Do you know what side is that now? If I ever try and search for MTN, like singing videos, I'm never gonna find it. It's just going to be the network coming out.
That's great.
That was smart. That was so forward thinking. I like that.
Yeah.
But what about the voice in the sky?
I loved music in high school. It was almost like we didn't really have sports. I think part of it was there was nothing to do, you know? So the best we could do was interact with music. And at the time, actually, I remember early days of high school. I was in the same high school as Mbali, by the way, Miss as the MTN. We had seniors who were like musical geniuses at the time, really. Like the guys could play all instruments, they were arranging everything. They were just like good at music in ways that fascinated us as juniors at the time. And it almost felt like we had to be a part of it. We had to kind of learn whatever we could. I tried learning piano, learned a little bit of guitar, and then there was also the singing part of it. Tried to do arrangements here and there.
And writing.
And right, which I don't do much of now, but yeah. So I think a lot of it was just that, that fascination for it. And then we had groups before Vocal Harmony. I was in a group again with Mbali. We had our own group. We're doing singing, doing all that stuff. And then I was then invited to sing for Vocal Harmony, and I couldn't say no because at the time it was like mind blowing stuff that they were doing. I had to join. So that's pretty much how we came. At the time, it was literally just a fascination of the music and a love to be a part of it. And it's grown into something a lot more meaningful now, which sometimes I think we're surprised at how impactful the music that that we minister, like how impactful it is. Because when we are learning it and engaging with it, initially it's technical because we have to learn the notes and whatever. And then eventually you really start to be like, oh, it's doing this and this is what it means to me. And, how do I interpret it, etc. And even just learning the interpretations of other people also just gives it more color. So, yeah.
I want to say, so the fact that basically all of you came from like musical backgrounds or, growing up in church and singing and your family's like very musical, it's very relatable to a lot of Adventists.
Yeah.
Like all over the world. Like, music it's just always there.
Yeah.
But I want to know, like, so what was the journey from like, okay, we all are musical, we've grown up singing separately to, okay, now we're Vocal Harmony? Because I know there's a lot of people who love singing, but it doesn't necessarily go from like,
Yeah, it
I'm
doesn't
singing in
translate
church
into
to I've
groups
made
like
albums
harmony.
with a group. Like, yeah, how did that happen?
So okay, there's 3 other members that are not here. So it's Charmaine, Shoni, and Sishe. But before Charmaine, we had another soprano. So it was her, Sishe, who basically decided that they wanted a group. They wanted to start a group, right? So they approached the members, the founding members, which were Lerato, Johnny, and I. And then there was another guy, Rocky. Yeah. So it's 2 people who wanted to start a group. They approached people that they know can sing. And we came together at St. Avens and SDA school. We had a music day there, I think, or was it before? Yeah, we had a music.
The first time we met.
We met, ne? Yeah. And then we organized some sort of rehearsal at the school. We learned a song, and Zim was there. The other guy that we wanted or that they wanted was not there, but Zim was there, the ghost. Yeah, he was there. We were like, Zim, come sing what baritone. And yeah, that's how we started as Vocal Harmony. But yeah, it was basically two people who had a vision. They brought their recruits and
Yeah. I think how it developed from that point is a chemistry thing. Because I think a lot of the time, I mean, we all have histories of being in different groups. But there's so much more that goes into a group, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess on a more on the musical side of things, how did you develop that sound? Because I think vocal harmony sounds very distinct and very different to all the kind of other groups that we listen to. And I think especially in a place like South Africa where like there are like a lot of groups and there's a lot of variety, how do you find and define your sound?
I think it has to do with what's already been said, right? Buddy spoke about our music being emotive and then what that evokes within each of us. And also in general, probably a chemistry thing. I don't know, but we've never had a harmony issue. Like it just makes sense when you start singing together. I don't know if it's something that we work on, but it just works that way. Like when we sing together, when we've learned the song together, the emotive part comes together. Even when we're still learning a song and we're not necessarily there yet from an emotive perspective, but we're just at a technical level, we just have our sound that's different. And I don't know if we can pinpoint what it is that we do to get it there, but it just is that way. So it might just be a chemistry thing, the right voices together, the right people together, understanding the music because it is written by one of us. Yeah, I don't know.
And I think also a lot of the songs that we sing are written and arranged by Sishe and Sony. And something that they do really well is whenever they write a song or they're arranging the harmonic structure, is they are very particular about doing it for the specific voices that are in it. Right? So something that we are very bad at, and that's singing without a member. We always sound different. Whenever there's one person missing, because whenever someone is sitting down to write or arrange a song, they are thinking about all the individuals in the group and what they want that to come out as. Right. And that's why it's so difficult to translate now our songs like from person to person. We've heard a few covers, some good, but they're all always different, right? Because it's not the voices that it was written for. So I think that has an impact in shaping the sound that you then do here and how the sound evolves as well, right? From 2010 to maybe 2018, it's a different vocal harmony. It's the same, it's largely the same, but it's also very different. And then how we sound now, we've introduced a new soprano. You listen to our album and you listen to maybe our latest YouTube video, you can see the consistency, but it's also different, right? And now it is a challenge for us to make sure that what we're going to do now fits perfectly for the individuals that are there at that time.
So that sounds really cool. And I now my cover of some vocal harmony songs, I'm gonna keep that in the vault. I don't think it's gonna fit in the some good category.
So the latest album,
Yeah.
it came out in 2024, called Victory, which was a long-awaited album, and we're so happy that it came out because
Yeah.
it was on repeat for a good year, and it still is on repeat. Actually, I can't lie. So, can you talk to us about the idea behind the album?
Okay. So it's a story, right? Your journey as a Christian. So the beginning of the album is your puppy love stage, in your Christian journey with God, where you're just like, oh my goodness, I love you, Lord. He's so wonderful. When you just found him, right? And you feel like he's just perfect for you. And he knows your needs. He's just the one, right? And then all of a sudden you go through your trials and your tribulations, and now you're questioning God, you're questioning who he is in your life. Is he even there? You know, does he exist? Like, should I still hold on to him? Right? And then you realize that he is there. And I see him through my life. I see him as I do the simplest things like walking, talking. I see the birds and I can see that God is alive. I see the wind blowing through the trees and I see that he's alive. And now I'm back with God and him and I are stronger than ever. Basically victory. He's won me back. And also he's overcome the world. So because of that, I'm saved, right? So basically it's a simple journey, Christian journey, how it starts off, how it breaks down, and how you come back to God. So the songs are lined up to tell that story, basically.
It does encapsulate like the Christian journey really well. Of like, there's no other name like Jesus when you just found him. And yeah, you go through those times where you question a little bit and you're like, oh, what's going on? And then you kind of start to kind of grow a bit stronger in that relationship. I'm very curious though, what was the order that the songs were written in? So, like, was it written in that journey
That's a
style,
crazy question.
or was it like, one was like victory and then sometimes it was wind and then it was like, what was the order?
Yo, some songs are really, really old.
Yeah. So I think, in true vocal harmony nature, we have songs that we don't even know yet. Right? We have, we just have, I think we were set on what story we want to tell, right? And what songs do we currently have that can fit that story? And then what actually happened was that when we were set on the story, set on the fact that, yes, we're going into studio, there were songs that actually came in because we wanted to tell that story even better, right? So there are songs that we've always had, very old. No Other Name is one of the first songs we ever sang, and then there are songs that came in specifically for the album just to tell that story. Yes, so it was very intentional the way that we approached it. And it was really like, if we went into the detail of every single song, you'll really like start to appreciate some of the thought that went into, what different types of experiences do you want to bring together to tell that overall story.
I think now is the perfect time to kind of just get into the songs as you mentioned. So I think we can cover a few songs on the album. My personal favorite is No Other Name. The reason why is because I feel like every listen, I'm like discovering new things. I'm like, oh, this is nice. I'm like, oh, this, yeah. I'm like,
the composer.
All right, I need to
We
hear
have the
that.
composer, yeah. The composer.
it's just
Top tier.
yeah, honestly, it's like it's a great song. And like I remember I was walking like after work and I was listening to the song and I stopped. I was like, wait, I've like I've listened to this song so many times, but these 30 seconds are like a new revelation, and you just have to go back and listen to it.
The times we've rewound that
Oh
song.
yeah.
It's like, no, I'm running back.
Yeah, so Miss MTN, can you talk us through, writing and composing that song?
I just remember being in class, high school. The high school I went to, it was a boarding school. So we had a session called quiet time. So we had a study time, then we had a break, then it's quiet time. So quiet time, you read your Bible, you do your devotion and all of that. Like we were all required to do that. So during my quiet time, I can't remember the verse I read, but I think there's a verse I read that inspired the lyrics. So I wrote down the lyrics, and then the melody came when I was in class. Fun fact, Zim taught me how to write, right? So he told me, he told me to write. He's like, write do re mi fa sol la ti do. Right. Then pick your notes and a melody will just come up. So I was doing that because the lyrics were stuck in my head, but I couldn't come up with the melody. So I did that, and the melody just came. And yeah, it's a very the song. I felt like the song was childish because of because of when I wrote it, right? And they didn't want to change the song. You know, when you have a song and we rearrange it and we try to, to show growth. But with this one, they're like, no, it's perfect the way it is. So I don't have like a deep story. It's just, it's just like, yeah, it was inspired from my quiet time with God. And then the melody came in class and taught it to the group. And then we worked together to basically make it an actual song. So, yeah.
Thank you, group, for making sure they she stuck to the song and there was no changes because I love it. I was gonna ask, so in that song and I guess the rest of your songs as well, there is this weaving of different languages within the songs. What's the process of like not just writing in different languages, but picking to say, this is the language I want to use to express this particular thought and feeling compared to another? Yeah, how do you make those decisions?
Yeah. think I think because most of us Anguni, it's easy to start there since it starts with Uinkosi Amakosi. Yabo. I don't know, hey? But I think it's more on our roots, where we come from. You think in Zulu, and then you try to translate, right? But I guess it's more on where we all come from, and how I try to bring who God is, right, in my language, and the universal language, right? Because it's also easy to write in English than your home language, but because I think in Zulu first, maybe that's where it comes from. But I think it's more on where I come from, where I'm grounded, and also just for it to be relatable, I guess. That it helps to merge the languages, so you understand it better, because it's more of same line, because there is no other name. You are the King of Kings, right? There's no one like you. And for that we praise you, right? So it's you relate better to it when you hear it in your language, but also when you hear it in another language and try to understand where this person was coming from. It comes together really well.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think I can definitely relate to that. So I'm from Zim, I'm Shona, and there's certain songs that I hear and I'm like, this expression only makes sense in Shona to me. And like the English, I'm like, even when you translate, I'm like, I'm like, you're there, but like, it doesn't have that, I feel like I was speaking directly to God when I was speaking in Shona sometimes. And I think, sometimes I can definitely feel that I'm like, this language, like the particular choice behind this is like, I can feel that connection of like, this is what deeply connected to you.
My favorite song is New Earth. I love that song. And there's a bit at the end, like the bridge, I guess. And there's like a phrase or like a word that you sing, but I don't think it's a word. I don't know.
No.
Yeah. And like I'll be completely honest. I genuinely, like, at the beginning when we were watching the YouTube video, I was like, all this time I thought you were singing like What I Love, but it's not. It's like so I was singing What I Love, and then I was like, wait, that's not what they're saying. And then Tina's like, I don't think it's an actual word, and I was like, oh. So my question was like, did you guys just want to make a sound, or is it an actual word, or like that?
And I was like, I can't even if it was a word, I'm sorry, I can't translate for
Yeah,
you.
like-
I don't know.
No, it's
Is it an
definitely
actual
not
word?
a word.
Okay,
I think
cool.
anyone with an African background understands that we have expressions, right?
Yes.
That aren't necessarily words. You can't like necessarily translate it to anything specific, but you know that it's an expression of joy or of shock. I think New Earth is a celebratory song, so that is in line with that. It's South Africa, an expression of joy.
You guys are like solving great debates that have been had in this
In our
house.
household. Like, I think we debate that one too much. It's not even that deep.
I'm like,
you know?
it's not a word. She's like, no, but it is. But,
But what if it is?
yeah. And then the other song, I'm trying to going down the list. Wind. So can you tell us about Wind?
He was on some drank some tea or something. I don't know what he was on that day. Because that song is so poetic. It's so it's almost like sometimes musicians they have to be in a really dark place, have to be in really deep emotion for songs where it's dark or very like joyful or whatever it is, but like not a surface level kind of feeling. I can't speak for him. I wish he was here to speak for himself, if I'm being honest. But that song, I mean, I'm at awe of it when I hear it. And I think especially the feature that we got, what's her name? Christy, man, she gave it color that I don't think we ever knew was like, because we had other people also sing the lead. Originally, actually, the original soprano that we had used to sing that lead. And then when she left, because she was first soprano, and then we didn't sing it, didn't have anyone capable enough. We tried to get another lady to sing it. She was good as well, to be fair. But then when we got Christy, it was like, whoa, like this is exactly what it needs to be. Like she expressed it so beautifully. We dropped it on the album. We haven't sung it since.
Yeah.
It's we don't want to mess it up. Number one, we don't be singing it and people are like, what is this? What are you guys doing? We know what it sounds like, what it's supposed to sound like, So we just like, oh, should we get Christy to come? Our soprano now, I think she can do it, if I'm being honest. But she's still debating internally about it. But yeah, I mean that song, I love it as well. It's amazing. And even that little piece, that interlude that we did, because that was also like we're inspired by Disney and what's Lion King, and there's a lot of just these elements, because wind also is an element, right? I don't know if you hear in the song, there's like elements of wind and like leaves, like the sounds that leaves make, all the stuff. I'm trying to bring all that in there, try to make it more production than just the song and voices, trying to give it a lot more color to really bring out, what it is that yeah. So yeah, I mean,
No, I think you captured it quite well. But I guess it goes into what my question was going to be, because I think you mentioned that Sikle and Cloney write a lot of the songs and then they bring them to you. What's that process of like? What's the reaction when you're like, oh, they've brought a new song? What's that internal vocal harmony process of taking in a new song and either giving it the green light, or I mean, like, do you send them back with notes to say, go change this bit? Like,
No, we really send them back with notes. But what we have done with one of the newest songs is to adjust some of the lyrics so that it lands better from a musical perspective, as opposed to just speaking the words or the lyrics. So we help each other with that and adjust little bits and add some elements to the song, but we've never said nope, go back to the drawing board. This is not the one. We've never had to do that. We're always in awe of the music that they write, and they're always just like, okay, yeah, let's learn. Yeah.
But honestly, sometimes it takes time for you to realize how amazing the song is, right? Because there'll be a first rehearsal and you're doing it for the first time, you just start feeling it at all. And then it takes a specific experience or a specific emotion that you're feeling at the time. Well, performance, yes. Or someone telling you how that song makes them feel.
Yeah.
For you to change your perspective entirely on it. And yeah.
That's true. I had a song that I used to sing soprano in, and that song used to stress me to the point where I didn't actually enjoy and feel the song because I'm worried about my nose. So there are songs like that where you're more worried of the notes, the musicality, and all of that, and you don't actually get the time to take in the lyrics and the emotion of the song. And also sometimes you end up feeling that when you're listening to the song and not necessarily singing it yourself. So
Yeah.
Is that channels?
yes.
I'm telling you guys, I've been on that YouTube channel. I know.
Can I ask a question about like your channel and social media and things like that? Because there's a lot of groups who have really, really good content, like music videos and things like that. You guys, I think,
You're the top of the list.
yeah, for our ranking, like no disrespect to anyone, but you know, you guys are near the top because we're like solid content.
Yeah,
Like
I'm like, I can see people in HD.
Like
I can hear the voices. Guys, you don't know the struggles I go through. Yeah,
it's real.
as a young African man who loves like acapella music. Yeah, I am scouring these YouTube streets and I'm seeing something that was shot on a toaster, and I'm just like, what is happening? but like the sound, like the music is good, but I'm just like, I can't see any of you. It's just shapes. And then, and then there's vocal harmony, and I'm like, oh, this is crisp, I can actually see people and I can
Like,
understand what's happening.
Cinema screen.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, like top notch. So yeah.
Yeah, who's social media person, who's YouTube and all that? Who's in charge of all of that?
So there's different people for different elements, right? So when it comes to the quality of the content, that is Shoni and Creative Moves, in fact, because it's Shoni and Molife, and they actually have like a videography photography company that they run. So the perks of having those people in the group is that we can have them shoot that content. So from a quality perspective, I mean, that's why it's crisp and it keeps getting better because from a business perspective, they want the latest cameras, the latest, shooting styles and all of that. So there's so much energy and intention that is behind what we look like because from a business perspective, there's so much energy that they are bringing to the table. So definitely from a visual perspective, that's what it is. And then from a social media perspective, so there isn't really a strategy. We kind of just roll off of what has been created. But we try to be very pointed in the way that we communicate some of the things that we're doing. And I suppose with the album being a visual album was also part of the strategy in making sure that we give the album more life. And that will translate on social media and making sure that we always have content for the lifespan of the album. And then, like I said before, there are songs that will pop out of anywhere, right? So that will then filter through to content as well. We have couch sessions, and that is coming through as well. When we can't necessarily get into studio to record the song, we have mics. So we sit around the couch and we, make it happen. So I think with the different passions outside of music that exist within the group, it allows us to always show up in the way that we do. And I think even from a professional point of view, where like I did marketing, right? So that'll be a consideration when we are launching certain things, right? It helps us in the way that we push out content as well?
I think if I can add, if we're being honest, we're very particular also and finicky. Like we wouldn't be if we took pictures, for instance, or even had a video shoot and the quality wasn't there, even though the concept is right and maybe the wardrobe is right, it's not dropping. It's not dropping. If the music also we're not gonna record in our I don't know, I'm saying some of these things. But like we'll go to a studio, okay? We'll make sure that we go to a studio and do it properly. We won't like backdoor or shortcut just for the sake of dropping. We'd rather like kill ourselves money wise and make sacrifices and you know what I'm saying? Like so that the quality that we drop, because once you drop music, it's forever. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? If you put something on the internet, like you can remove it, but like someone saw it. So it's so sometimes it's a positive. I mean, it is a positive, but then there are times where it offers bad certain things. Going live, for instance, was a struggle for us. I mean, we're trying to do it now with rehearsals. But the thing about it was we're always asking ourselves, no, but what are we going to do? No, but are we going to sing this? No, but what's the set for the live? It's like, guys, just go live. The point of going live is to not be rehearsed. You know what I mean? It's to not be perfect. It's to just be yourself, to show your character. A lot of people actually, I think not so much now. Earlier in our days, they thought we're uptight, fuck up. I don't know, like mean people because of the way that we portray ourselves on the internet and maybe while we're on stage, because we want to do it right. Want it to be, you know what I'm saying? But actually, we're just goofballs. Like, we mess around, laugh all the time. When we rehearse, an hour of the rehearsal, it's not an hour and a half, is us just chatting. And then we're like, oh, guys, sorry, we're supposed to rehearse. And then we do quick rehearsals. It's like, oh, and then one is just like, we cheated that. We should have done that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just to give more context to some of the even the way that we present ourselves online. It's just the way that I think we are as individuals as well. Yeah.
I think that also gives, I guess, some inspiration to people out there who have their own groups and stuff like that, and they're starting to think about, releasing music in terms of just taking a bit of time, thinking about the quality and the way in which they're presenting themselves. And I think, yeah, you guys are definitely a big inspiration for people out there. So thank you for sharing that.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. There's two more songs that we have to ask about. One of them is Praying for You. And I think that was the first time we saw the new member. And they were like, ooh, this is nice. I was like, ooh. I was like, it's like new character unlocked. So I was like, okay. So yeah, can you talk to us about that song and like singing it and what that was like as your introduction to the rest of the world?
Yeah. I wasn't the first person that said song. Similar to Wade. I guess they're waiting for the right person. The right person arrived. Praying for You, actually, when I sang it in studio, recording it for the album, it wasn't the first time I sang it. Right? So long before I was in the group. The day that Philly was writing the song was there, actually. I was still in university at University of Pretoria. And he's just like, bro, I want you to sing this. And I guess he was still coming up with the concept. And I guess it was full circle when then he asked again, and it was time to record the album, if I could sing it. And I was nervous in that studio because, it's a very emotional song, right? And you can tell that it came from a very deep place. And the last thing that you want to do as a person that performs something, especially with the person that wrote that song in studio, recording you, right, is not to convey it in the way that he intends. So I was very particular about asking him for direction in where he wants me to go, because I think it really matters what the writer is trying to communicate and not just what you as a performer interpret it as, right? And yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but it ended up happening. When the engineering happened, as I think other people experienced in this room, that attitude of being very particular, wanting to be perfect, makes you want to have so much input, or you want to re-record certain aspects, or you want certain aspects removed. But sometimes it is important to just allow the raw emotion of a moment to come out, right? Even through the sounds of a speaker. And yeah, it touched me at the very first time that I listened to it, because it was an emotional session, and then also recording it in studio was extremely emotional for me as well, because it says so much, right, about what you're going through and needing prayers yourself, and what you see around you, and knowing that those people need prayers, right, and people you invested in being okay, right, and feeling alone, but knowing that, okay, there is someone out there that I can cry to, that I can complain to, that I can give praise to fix whatever mess I am feeling when I'm alone, like at midnight, thinking and questioning everything.
I really like that. I feel like every VH project has like a song that reminds you, oh, you have friends, like you're loved, like you have people looking out for you. And yeah, I really like that. I was gonna ask, with this song in particular, you have a pianist. So you have an instrumentalist on the song as well. What was that like? That blend of your voices, but also having an instrumentalist on there, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it was a second one. I think similar to looking for the right voice, looking for the right pianist is also like the different versions of the song sound very different.
Yeah.
Right. Sound extremely different from the way that it was played to the way that it was recorded. And yeah, I think um Cooper was also particular in making sure that what it is that Shoni was or had imagined for the song is what came out in the way that it played. Because praying for you, you could remove the voice and play just the piano, and it's still an emotional song, right? And that's the power of music, right? So I think Cooper did a brilliant job in conveying that emotion that doesn't just come out in the lyrics of the song or how the voice is singing, but even the instrumental that is behind it as well. I guess experimental for vocal harmony, an a cappella group to add that, but I think it was just the perfect way to do it instead of um, shoehorning cappella and full voices into like how the song sounds and what it's supposed to convey. I don't think it sounds the same if it isn't what it was, just a piano, not a full band, just one voice, and then backing vocals near the end.
Also, maybe that's how particular we are about the voices that sing within vocal harmony, and the accompaniment that we choose. We're also quite picky about where we sing what song. So, for an example, this particular song, "Praying for You," is not a song that we would sing at any venue, at any kind of church event. We require specific things so that the song is conveyed as it was written and as it was sound. So if we know that we're not going to have a greater sound at the venue, we're not going to choose to sing "Praying for You." We'll probably sing something that's purely a cappella with no accompaniment, so that the message goes across as intended.
I like that. It's being very intentional in picking your moments. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm hearing some names that I'm like, I've heard that name before. So Cooper Keys, I've heard that name
Yes.
before.
Yes.
You mentioned Molefe.
Yes.
Does he sing bass for Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
You locked it.
All right.
It really is.
All right. Listen, if there's one thing I do, I look at them credits. I'm like, who was this? Who's involved here? And then the last song, which is Victory, which kind of, I'm guessing, ties this all together. Can you tell us about that song?
So I mean exactly that. I think when we look at the fool's journey, the victory journey, or the Christian journey, what we all strive for is that victorious moment, in every space of our lives, spiritually, you want to get to that victorious moment where you feel connected with God. From a professional point of view, you like it's success. it showcases success, you know. So I think in our Christian journey, ultimately we want success. And that's what also the album feels like to us, you know. The recording journey was a very long journey. And we actually recorded the album twice, you know. So it really sort of encapsulates a time where VH, I could say, almost ended, you know. And really that whole the journey, the song itself, it really encapsulates how, you know, perseverance can get you to the end. You can be successful if you keep going, you know, despite everything else that might happen, and, you know, curveballs that are thrown in your way. You know, it's important to be clear on where you're going and keep going, you know. So I think it's a poetic ending to the project and what it represents, both for us and hopefully what other people are striving towards, you know, in their Christian journey as well.
It came at a time where we were still very shy about how we or how broad we want to be as a group, you know, because we were singing, okay, we're very choral. We liked Disney here and there. Well, yeah, we were Disney based, let me just say that, but we were very choral, very simple. And then Shoni just came with Victory, and it was like, oh, okay, like it was like, oh, okay, this is different. So it was like a different side to VH, or a new character unfolding, you know. But like what she's saying, just basically saying victory belongs to Jesus, and we all want to get to a point in our Christian journey where we are victorious. Well, we know we're victorious, but, you know, you just want to get to that point in your life where you're like, yeah, I've won, you know. And yeah, I think also bringing that different element to the group also speaks to that, and it speaks to how poetic our journey has been. So yeah.
I think every Christian like knows that you need to persevere, right? Because I mean, and we all have an Adventist background. The Advent message is a message of hope for the second coming of Jesus Christ. And it's important that we continue to march onwards, because we know that in the end we will be victorious. It may not look like it now, but there will be victory, right? And it is worth celebrating that victory now because of how inevitable it is, right? There's nothing that can happen in your life or in this world that can derail the inevitability of Jesus' second coming. So I think that is also an aspect of victory. We are the soldiers of Christ, and we will continue to march towards this victory that we know is certain.
I mean, the song doesn't end as well. If you listen to it, it fades because you could just keep going. Just 'cause, you know. So I think it adds to that meaning as well to say, man, ultimately through everything, yeah, it was fine, and then it dipped, and you struggled, and you didn't understand, and your relationship with God, you know, dip or whatever. But now we're back up. We're back up stronger. Similar to the story of Job. You know, everything kind of doubles. Yeah, man. That's one of my favorites as well. I love it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking us through the journey of that album. And I think for me especially, I'm definitely going to be going back, and we'll have a very different perspective as I listen through it again.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be new discovery again. So thank you. All right. So this is our last question. It's my favorite question. Natalie, go on.
Yeah, so we ask this to every guest that we have on our podcast. So who do you recommend that we speak to next, and which song of theirs would you want to hear about?
Okay, for me personally, a song that I like recently, there's an artist called Sims Kuda. And there is a song on his EP Discovery called Rain on Me that I absolutely love, that I would recommend that people listen to. Yeah, and it would be great if you can have a conversation with him as well.
Since you've recommended him, I think we're also going to ask you to just be like, hey, Sims, there's some people who want to talk to you. We have listened to the Discovery, the EP, and then we listened to the live experience. And I've got to say, that's how I introduced Natalie to the muffins. Because I was looking for a good way
It wasn't actually very good.
to introduce her to the muffins. And that medley, I was like, yes, they covered all the points, man. I was like, yes, this is it.
But now it's weird for me to hear the song separately.
So we're working on that.
Because I'm just like, but wait, no, I thought this was a medley. And it's like, no, it's actual song. Guys.
Okay, all right. So we'll reach out to Sims and we'll reach out to the muffins and be like, Vocal Harmony sent us. So and I'm sure they're gonna talk to us because they're like, yeah, Vocal Harmony recommended. All right. So is there anything coming up in terms of new music or shows or anything like that you'd like people to know about so we can kind of look out for?
Right now, we're writing for our second album. So we are just focused on that. We've said before that we're going to have a show, we're going to have this, and we never have it. So,
Did have a show.
my brother, at the little show, we promised people a bigger show. Did we do it? But for now, we're writing.
Yeah.
And we have a new member, so we working on our chemistry with her, teaching her the songs that we already have. So yeah, that's our main focus this year.
Well, we're looking forward to the big show.
And hopefully when you're in the UK.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying if when you're in the UK. Please, would be more than happy to have you. We have a studio here where we're recording this podcast. It's we bought studios for free for any Christian artists to record their music. So when Vocal Harmony is in the UK, please stop by and maybe you can have one of your new songs on a second album here.
If it's up to standard, of course.
Of course, it has to be at Zim standard, But Vocal Harmony, thank you so much for joining us and for spending this time with us and telling us about your album Victory. For everyone listening at home, go and check out Victory. We will link their YouTube channel, and there's loads for you to go listen to. We'll also link their Spotify and Apple Music and that kind of stuff, and you can go listen to their stuff as well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for
Bye.
Bye.